Hey, what's up, you guys? So, today we have Carlsen against Nihal Sarin. So, this was just a very casual game played between Carlsen and Nihal Sarin. And this was actually showed by Carlsen himself in his YouTube channel, where he live streams and he plays the game against Nihal Sarin. So, it's nothing serious, but I thought we'll just cover this game because, nevertheless, it goes to show you how decisive Nihal Sarin is at such a young age. I mean, Carlsen himself admits that, Nihal played a perfect game. So, anyways, let's just get to the game. So, we have Carlsen playing white and Nihal was black in this blitz game. So, we had e4, e5, knight f3, and knight c6, bishop b5, and we're going for the real Lopez. Then we have a6, bishop a4, we have knight f6, d3, d6, c4, which is a particular variation. Obviously, Carlsen's playing a blitz game and he's on live stream, so he's just trying out different variations and such. It's not a serious game at all. Then we have g6, we have h3, bishop g7, knight c3, and black castles. So white castles, we have knight d7, and we have bishop e3 by Carlsen. So we have knight d4. So Carlsen captures the knight. We have e into d4, and we have Carlsen capturing the knight. So over here he's feeling like, this white bishop is weak at the moment, so might as well just exchange with the knight. But what he doesn't see is that we have d into c3 by Nihal instead of just capturing the bishop. So we have Carlsen playing bishop into c8, and we have c into b2. So this was one move that Carlsen didn't notice. Now, I'm not trying to criticize Carlsen at all because he is the world's top grandmaster, and obviously he was on live stream. He was just playing for the audience. I mean, something that people miss. And to be honest, he himself quotes, this is the easiest move anybody has ever missed in the history of missing moves. He sees the fun side of it and he just carries on. We have him playing rook b1, Nihal capturing the bishop. So over here, Carlsen just moves on and he plays d4. We have c5, so he played d4 so that he could capture the pawn, which in turn is defended by the bishop. So now captures the pawn. We have c into d4, and we have rook captures the pawn, and we have Nihal capturing the pawn as well, and we have queen b3. Now over here, Nihal plays a very strong move actually, and credit where it's due because he was able to figure out very strong moves, especially in the blitz game. Although he was not part of the live stream, so obviously he was fully immersed in the game. So over here, Nihal plays rook c3. Now what's the beauty of it? Rook c3 just seems to be an attacking move, fine, but let's find out. So we have Carlsen playing queen a4. Now pause the video if you'd like to try to figure out the next move, but this is something Carlsen himself didn't notice, and it is pretty evident in the live stream because he was pretty surprised by the move. So we have Nihal playing rook into f3. So this was again a move that Carlsen missed, and Carlsen himself admits it. I mean, Carlsen is a very honest player. That's what I love about Carlsen. He is so down to earth and he's so honest with himself. And this was just a live stream, and he was just basically saying how embarrassed he was because this was something that he didn't notice. So over here, the threat is that Carlsen has to capture. So after capturing, we have queen g5 check. So now this is pretty dangerous. So we have king h1, and we have queen f4. So at some point, Nihal's plan is to bring his bishop over here, and then there's a deadly mate coming over here. So we have Carlsen playing king g2 to avoid that, and we have Nihal again trying for queen g5 check. King goes back to h1, and there's a repetition of moves, and finally Nihal plays bishop e5. So now Carlsen plays rook d1 so that he can bring his king down to safety through this route. Then we have Nihal playing rook c8. Slowly, although Nihal is an exchange down, he's is full on attacking, and he's bringing his last piece on the board into this attack as well. So he plays rook c8 with the intentions of bringing his rook over here, or here, or here. So over here, Carlsen plays queen d7. Okay, so in the match, so you can pause the video if you like, because there is a mating thread over here. There is a mate in 8 that Nihal actually missed in this blitz game. I mean, obviously it's a blitz game, so it's bound to happen where people just miss mating threads. But there is a mate in 8, which I will show at the end of the video. But still, you can pause the video and try to figure out the mating thread. So in the match, we have Nihal playing rook c2. So this is deadly as well, but then obviously there's no mating thread. But we have threats such as queen g3, and the pawn can't capture because of the spin. So there are like various threats as well. Or we could have this, and then king could go over here, and then there's another mate over here. So a lot of threats over here. So Carlsen was forced to exchange queens, and in return lose material. So we have queen into f7, queen into f7, rook into f7, king captures, and now over here Nihal is clearly whole bishop up, and this is a clear win for black. Now the next series of moves is just Carlsen is trying to make it hard for Nihal, because this is being a blitz game. So at this point Nihal just had seconds, barely seconds, like probably like 30-40 seconds. So it is just about slowing him down and then probably making him lose time. But still Nihal was decisive. So next couple of moves are just, there's nothing much to explain. It's very self-explanatory. So we have f4 captures, then rook into d4, we have rook into a2, rook c4, we have bishop e2. So this is the threat. Then we have king f3, we have bishop c5, then e5, we have rook into f2, king g3, king e6, pawn captures, and then we have rook f5, rook a4, bishop captures the pawn with check, we have king g2, we have a5, and we have rook e4 check. So black is ready to exchange, but white doesn't allow it. Rook h4, rook captures the h7 pawn, we have a4, we have rook b7, bishop d6, rook a7, we have a3, king f3, and we have rook e3. Now this is a beautiful move, because Nihal barely has seconds. Okay, he has around like 10-12 seconds, and he comes up with this stunner move. I mean, obviously the threat is after king captures, then you have the spin. Okay, it's a very simple move, but when you have seconds left and Nihal was able to see this move with such ease, just goes to show you how much this kid has grown. I mean, it's just amazing how he is so good at such a tender age of 16. So we have king g4, then rook g3 check, king h4, we have rook b3, king g5, rook captures the pawn, king captures the pawn, rook g3 check, king moves away, king moves, and we have king attacking, trying to attack the rook. We have rook c3, and we have king g4. So obviously over here bishop is trying to attack the rook, but people have just 5-6 seconds on the clock. So Carlsen also had seconds, so he was pre-moving at this time. So he was basically live streaming and talking and just pre-moving. So he pre-moves his king, so that way he loses the rook, and it was at this point that Carlsen resigned the match. So I'm not saying Carlsen played bad, because this is just a very casual, simple game. Obviously Carlsen is a beast when he's playing. This was just a simple casual game that he played for the fans, where he was casually live streaming. And Carlsen himself admits that this was just not a good day for him, and obviously he missed out on a lot of moves, but still, credit where it's due, and he himself credits Nihal Sarin for playing such a flawless, perfect game. So that's the thing I love about Carlsen. He is so down to earth, and he is so humble, and the fact that he credits Nihal is such a beautiful thing, and he himself feels that Nihal could be a potential world champion in future. But anyways, so this was the match, but still I did mention that there was a mating thread that Nihal actually missed in the game. So let's go to that position. So over here the mating thread is, what does black play? So we have queen h2 check, then king goes to f1, we have queen h1 check, king goes to e2, we have rook c2 check, rook has to block it, and then we have d3 check, a beautiful check. King captures the pawn, we have rook c3 check, then we have king e2, we have queen into f3 check, king e1, we have rook c1 check, rook blocks, and that's checkmate. So this was the mating thread that Nihal actually missed, but you know, it's a blitz game. I mean, I keep saying it again and again, but you know, there was no need for me to actually cover this game at all. But still, it's okay to cover casual games, because at the end of the day, chess is chess, and you know, you find beautiful games in the simplest of events, be it a live stream, and it's not just about covering important chess tournaments. So that's the beauty of chess. I hope you all enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. I will keep posting more videos, so stay tuned. Thank you.